Final bosses in a video game are extremely important. They are the last piece of gameplay you're gonna face and you want it to be memorable. So today I will be ranking my top 10 favorite final bosses in video games. There is one rule though, I can only pick 3 bosses that were made by From Software. So I'm sorry German, Soul of Cinder and Promise Concert Radam, but you won't be on this list. At number 10 I decided to go with Yang from the very cool game that is Sifu. Now the first thing I want to talk about this boss is that story-wise is crazy important. I mean the game exists because of him, basically because he kills our father and we want revenge. It's easier said than done though, because Yang is easily one of the hardest final bosses I ever fought in any game ever. And that honestly is one of the biggest reasons why I put him on this list. Yang is not an audiovisual masterpiece like some of the bosses I'm gonna put on this list, but he is one of those bosses that when you finally beat him, you're gonna feel like a god and you're gonna celebrate like there's no tomorrow. Because this guy is gonna put to the test everything that you learn into the game and will kill you over and over and over again. I spent around 4 hours until I finally got the win on Yang, and it was one of the most extremely happy moments I ever had while finishing a game. At number 9 I decided to go with Chef Saltbaker, which is the final boss of the DLC from the incredible game that is Cuphead. Now this was an extremely hard choice to make because I also love a lot the Devil from the main game, and in fact the Devil has some things that I believe are better than Chef Saltbaker, especially like the music, which is the thing that is lacking in the Chef fight. But in the end I had to pick one, and I think the first phase, especially from Chef Saltbaker, is one of the most incredible things I've ever seen in a video game when it comes to animation. Like the fact that the guy is like cutting all the things that he's gonna throw at us, it is just freaking cool. Now this boss is a visual masterpiece in every single way. In fact, I love this boss so much that even after beating him, I put myself through the crazy challenge that it was to beat him in the hardest difficulty without taking a single hit, and let me tell you, it was unbelievably crazy fun. If there is any other thing besides the music that I can point on this boss that I don't think it's out of this world good, it's the phase before the last one. I think that one is a bit too simple, but outside of that, this is a stellar boss fight, an absolutely perfect way to finish the DLC to one of the most incredible games out there. Now the real question is, where the hell is Cuphead 2? We all want that. Please bring it on. And at number 8, I decided to go with Felicity from the pretty cool game that is Evil West. Now when it comes to bosses in this game, let me tell you, there aren't that many. There's only 4 of them, you know, at least main ones. But let me tell you, all 4 of them are absolutely spectacular, especially the final one, which is Felicity. Now before the fight even begins, you have this spectacular transformation from her being this little girl into this disgusting creature that is her final form. And let me tell you, it does not finish there, because as the fight progresses, she just gets bigger and more disgusting, and let me tell you, she's also incredibly hard. Now the bosses in this game are amazing, yes, but they're not like crazy hard until you get to Felicity, which makes all the other bosses feels like fighting a baby. And the reason for that is that she does big damage. She has a lot of attacks and she has many forms as well. I especially love the attack where she like charges at you around the arena, which is also gorgeous. I love the arena for this fight. And then she also goes into the walls and start banging the walls, and things from the ceiling start falling and you have to run like a maniac to avoid it. It's just a fight that has a lot of adrenaline, and the fact that it's also incredibly hard is just another fight that when you finally beat her, you're gonna feel absolutely incredible. Evil West is a game that I find it a little bit hard to recommend, but I can promise that even if you don't like the game, the bosses you will love, especially Felicity, because she's an absolute blast and you will never forget fighting her. I can promise you that. At number 7, I decided to go with Bison from Street Fighter 2, and there isn't much I can say that hasn't been said already about this boss. This is probably one of the most iconic bosses in video game history, at least when it comes to fighting games. I might be more of a Mortal Kombat person, but I have to be honest, at this point in time, there was absolutely no game better than Street Fighter 2 when it comes to fighting games. Let's just be realistic here, that game was flawless in every department, and having Bison as the final boss was like chef's kiss. Like, the guy is absolutely perfection. Annihilation is a perfect boss. There's nothing I can say other than that. Bison is a 10 out of 10, perfect boss, a perfect way to finish an incredible game, one of the best fighting games in history. Bison is super cool when it comes to visuals, his arena is incredible, and his attacks are so incredibly memorable, especially the one where he flies around the arena. Man, that shit was so hard to deal with, and it's so cool to look at the same time. Like, I can't say that I play a lot of fighting games during my lifetime, but from the ones I played, I have to pick Bison as the best final boss in fighting games, so I definitely think it deserves to be mentioned on this list. So yeah, number 7 for Bison. At number 6, I decided to go with Lost Lace from the incredible masterpiece that is Silksong. Now, this game was definitely worth the wait. After so many years, we finally get to play Silksong. It is without a doubt the most recent game that I played in this list, and it is so freaking good to see that the game ends with such an incredible boss fight. Now, in case you never played Silksong, you fight Lace 3 times. The first one, she's kind of easy. The second one is definitely way harder, but the final one, let me tell you, is one of the hardest challenges I've ever had in a 2D video game. Now, I've already mentioned this in another video. I spent 8 hours on her because she has like 4 phases where she just keeps adding more and more attacks, and she has so much health. It's such a crazy fight, and it's also extremely epic. Like, the soundtrack in this boss fight is out of this world good. Like, honestly, even if you don't want to play Silksong, even if you just beat Act 2 and you don't want to go all the way to her, please go to YouTube and listen to the soundtrack for this boss because it is out of this world crazy good. In the end, Lost Lace is a perfect way to finish Silksong, an incredibly memorable boss that you're gonna feel amazing when you beat her because she's such a big challenge. But at the same time, Silksong is such a cool game with such incredible gameplay that you're gonna love every second that you're gonna fight her. And starting with the top 5, I have the absolute blast that is Annihilation from the incredible game that is Remnant 2. Seriously, you need to play this game. But we're here to talk about the final bosses, and Jesus Christ, this boss is so goddamn incredible. Like, you need 10 seconds to fall in love with this boss because the start of this fight, the incredible gigantic arena that you enter, and you see this absolutely stunning visual creature flying in your direction, and this insanely epic music starts, and that's it. 10 seconds and you're in love with this boss. Now, as for the boss fight, when it comes to difficulty, let me tell you, it's of course by far the hardest boss in this game. A perfect way to finish this game with an incredible soundtrack. But like, the thing that you will remember the most about this fight is how original it is. Like, seriously, like, this boss at a certain point has a second phase, and then something happens that I've never seen in any other boss fight. The guy will literally start an attack with, by example, with his second phase, and halfway through that attack you will basically get teleported to his first phase and finish the attack with something completely different that you were not expecting. Like, the boss just keep transitioning between phases and you never know what the hell is coming, which makes the difficulty just go crazy, insane for this boss fight. So yeah, this is pretty much like a perfect boss. Everything in this boss fight, it is just stunning. It's a 10 out of 10. Like, in fact, these last 5 bosses, they are all out of this world good, and it's even hard to put this at number 5 because Annihilation is just so freaking amazing. Honestly, you should buy this game alone for this incredible boss fight. And at number 4, we have our very first From Software boss, which is Orphan of Kos. Now, as you can already guess, the name of my channel is based on this boss, and that is because I absolutely love Orphan of Kos. It all starts with such an incredible cutscene where we see this disgusting creature just come out from her dead mother, and then he starts to cry as he looks into the moon. It's just so goddamn beautiful in a very creepy way, and I absolutely adore it. Then the fight starts, and in first phase he moves very slowly in your direction, like he's just teasing you, just toying with you, and he uses this placenta as a weapon, and he uses it like a yo-yo. It is so goddamn crazy to watch and witness all of this happening. And the arena for this fight is also stunningly beautiful. It matches so well with what's happening, and also the music, the same thing. Like in first phase it is so calm because he moves so slowly, and in second phase it's where all hell breaks loose. And honestly, I think Orphan of Kos second phase might just be one of the best fights in video game history. Like, it is the most exciting, most adrenaline rush, most insane, most fast pace I've ever probably had in any boss fight ever. Like, the guy does not stop at all. Like, this boss is famous for being one of the hardest bosses in the history of video games, and even though I don't agree that much, to be honest, I think it's definitely hard, but not that crazy hard. But I get it, man. Like, second phase, it is so unbelievably insane. Like, the guy is on steroids, and I personally think is one of the most exciting things to ever happen to me in a video game. Orphan of Kos is that good. I think is one of the best final bosses out there, and one of the best bosses ever made, period. I just absolutely love this guy. At number 3, I decided to go with Arlecchino, which is the final boss from the DLC of what is one of the best games ever made, Liza P. Now seriously, even if you don't like Souls-likes, you should try Liza P, because they just added difficulty sliders so you can have an easy option. Please play this game. It is a masterpiece of epic proportion. But we're here to talk about the final boss, and Arlecchino. What they did with this boss is out of this world insane, because I personally think that From Software are by far the best creators out there when it comes to boss fights. It's not even close. But I cannot believe that NeoWiz has just done a boss so perfect that is as good as the best bosses From Software ever done. Like, seriously, this guy is almost pure perfection. He is incredible. Story-wise, this guy is absolutely amazing, because the DLC is done in the past, and like when we play the main game, we see this guy like on the floor, completely destroyed into pieces, and he's talking to us, and it was actually us that put him like that, because we fought him in his prime. And let me tell you, the way he looks on his prime is amazing. He has such a creepy vibe going on with his face, but the way he dresses like a pimp or something, it is so goddamn stylish and cool. And then in second phase, he becomes this super scary robot with this red long hair and like saws everywhere. It is absolutely incredible, the design for this boss. When it comes to the arena, it is so gorgeous, man. Like the snow falling and like the lake of blood at the center, it is so goddamn delicious. I absolutely adore the arena for this boss. The soundtrack as well, it's very good. It's not like a masterpiece or anything, but it's really good, especially second phase. But the star of this fight is definitely second phase. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I don't think there's a cooler thing in any boss fight in any video game ever as the start of the second phase from Arlecchino. Like, if you manage to dodge all of his attacks and parry every attacks that he initiates second phase, you're gonna feel like a god. It is the coolest thing ever. And it's also like the hardest boss I probably fought in any video game ever. It's either him or Promise Concert Radam before he was nerfed. Definitely between those two. So when you finally beat him, like I spent 15 hours on him on the hardest difficulty, and I was blown away. Like, I couldn't believe I've done it. Like, this was the hardest thing ever. Arlecchino is up there with From Software best boss creations, and the only reason why I don't put him in first is because first phase, even though it's very good, it feels a bit repetitive sometimes. Like, he just keeps doing a lot of times like this 4-hit combos, and after a few tries it just starts to feel that like he needed a few more moves on his first phase, and that's the only reason why he doesn't go higher, because this boss deserves to be up there together with the best bosses ever made in the history of video games. Arlecchino is that good. And at number 2 we have another From Software boss, which is Ishin, the Sword Saint from the absolutely incredible game that is Sekiro. Now this is probably number 1 for most people, I wouldn't be surprised. This boss is absolutely phenomenal in pretty much every department, and is also known to be one of the hardest bosses in the history of video games. And Sekiro, of course, also has what is one of the best combat systems, again, in any video game ever. You start the fight by fighting first Genishiro, which is basically just a warm-up to the actual fight, and then you see this badass old man just coming out from his body, and then you have to fight him in 3 incredible phases in this beautiful arena where you pretty much started the game, which I think is really cool that you finish the game pretty much almost where you started the game. And the fight itself also has like this really cool soundtrack. I think that of all the things in this fight, the soundtrack is the only thing that is not a 10 out of 10, but it's still really good. And the fight itself is just incredible. Like, first phase is just like testing us, it feels like a test, it just doesn't move very much. But then second phase, it just whole hell breaks loose, and this guy just brings a pistol to the fight, and it's so goddamn crazy. And in third phase, he starts doing lightning attacks. It is just absolutely incredible. He also has one of the most iconic boss lines, which is hesitation is defeat. Man, I think this is such a cool line, and he's also a very big part of the story of this game. So this guy pretty much ticks all the boxes from what a perfect final boss is. The only thing, like I said, it's the music that is not out of this world good, but everything else in this boss fight is perfection. Ishin is just simply one of the best bosses in video game history, but there's still one boss that I like a little bit more. And at number 1, to surprise of absolutely no one, the best final boss in video game history is Slave Knight Gael from the incredible DLC, The Ring City, from the also incredible game Dark Souls 3. Now, to a lot of people this might sound like a dated or a cliche answer, but I don't care. I still think Slave Knight Gael is the most fun I've ever had fighting a boss. Besides that, he is also epic as hell, especially when it comes to music. I absolutely love to infinity the soundtrack of Gael, especially in the second phase when like the guy gets up and is moving in our direction, and we see that incredible choir as we move in his direction. It is just so incredible. The guy also looks so freaking cool. Like, the guy just looks like goddamn Santa Claus. It is so goddamn cool. Every single phase in this boss fight is amazing. First phase is super fun, second phase is epic as hell, and in third phase is just like the best thing ever. Like, the guy is just teleporting around the arena. He has lightnings exploding everywhere. He's doing like flips in the air with a crossbow shooting at the same time. Like, it's all so incredibly stylish and epic and cool and amazing. I don't know what else to say about this boss. Everything in him is just so goddamn good. The arena is one of the most memorable ever. We're fighting this guy in the literal end of the world. I don't know, it's just a perfect conclusion to what is already an incredible game with so many incredible boss fights that I simply cannot pick another boss. Slave Knight Gael is definitely my favorite final boss in any video game ever, and please let me know in the comments which one is yours. I am very excited to know. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. See you guys on the next one, and as always, stay well. Bye bye.